Him. 4. The foolish sage and the jackal. In a monastery far away from human habitation, lived a saint called Devasama. He amassed a lot of wealth by selling clothes gifted to him by well-wishers and disciples. It became a burden for him to guard that wealth. Since he did not trust anyone, he put all his money into a bag and carried it with him wherever he went. Ashadhabhuti, an experienced cheat, noticed Devasama carrying his bag always with him and assuming that it certainly contained something valuable, began planning to snatch it from him. One day, the cheat met the saint and promptly fell on his feet and said, "Oh, know all. I have realized that this life is an illusion, youth is fleeting and all familial ties are like a dream. Please show me the correct path that delivers me from all worldly ties." Pleased with his humility, Devasama said, "Child, you are the blessed one who has thought of renouncing worldly pleasures. Listen, however low his caste is, the person that chants Om Namah Shivaya and smears holy ash on his forehead, becomes Shiva himself and knows no rebirth. I shall accept you as my protege, but you must not enter the hermitage in the night, because company is forbidden for saints. After initiation, you have to live in the hut at the entrance of the monastery." Ashadhabhuti promised the saint that he would consider every sign from him as a command and carry it out. Satisfied, the saint accepted the cheat as his disciple. Ashadhabhuti too began making Devasama happy by attending to every need of his. But seeing that the saint never separated the money bag from his person, Ashadhabhuti thought, "The old man is very crafty and keeps the bag always with him. How can I snatch it from him? Shall I kill him?" As the cheat was at a loss to achieve his goal, the son of a disciple came calling on the sage. The visitor invited Devasama to come to his village and perform the sacred thread ceremony of his son. The saint accepted the invitation and set out for the village, taking Ashadhabhuti with him. On the way, the guru and his disciple had to cross a river. After bathing in the river and wanting to rest for a while, Devasama took the money bag and pushed it into a quilt he was carrying and told the disciple, "I have to respond to nature's call. I am leaving this holy quilt of Shiva here. Keep an eye on it." The moment the guru went out of his sight, Ashadhabhuti collected the bag and fled the place. With great trust in his disciple, Devasama decided to spend time by joining a crowd watching two well-fed goats fighting ferociously. As blood was running down their heads, a jackal came there to feast on the blood the two goats were shedding. Devasama saw the jackal entering the scene and thought that the jackal would surely die caught between the two warring goats. His surmise came true and the jackal died, gored by the two goats. Brooding over the demise of the jackal, Devasama returned to where he had left the money bag with Ashadhabhuti and panicked when he found Ashadhabhuti missing. The holy quilt was there but not the money bag in it. He began wailing, "Oh, trickster, what have you done? I have lost everything in this world." After a vain search for the trickster, the foolish saint returned home dejected. Damanaka asked Karataka, "What do you learn from this episode? You alone can tell me. The sage and the jackal have none to blame except themselves. In a similar situation, what should we do?" Damanaka said, "Yes, I know what to do now. With my cunning I will create a rift between King Pingalaka and Sanjeevaka. Haven't you heard that though you cannot subdue the enemy with a volley of arrows, you can destroy him by your wit?" "Wait," said Karataka. "Suppose the Lion King and the roving bullock comes to know of your plans to separate them, get ready to meet your end." "My friend, you are too pessimistic. When time and tide are against you, don't give up. Wise men keep on trying till they succeed in getting what they want. Haven't you heard the elders saying, 'The goddess of wealth favors the man who persists'? Pray God by all means, but put in your own effort. Even if you don't succeed, you will be free of blame." Karataka was not convinced that Damanaka could create rift between the fierce Lion King and the wise bullock. Damanaka told him, "Here is how through cunning two crows, husband and wife, managed to save their children from a cobra. Every time the wife hatched the eggs, a cobra would come and feast on the offspring. The couple asked a jackal, who was their friend, to show them the way. The jackal told the crow not to despair, for there is noting that a trick cannot achieve. That is how a crab killed a greedy crane that was preying on the fish in the lake. The female crow asked the jackal how the crab had killed the crane. Damanaka then asked Karataka to listen to the story of the crane and the crab. 5. The crafty crane and the craftier crab. Once upon a time an old crane lived on the rim of a large lake in the middle of a jungle. Because of age, it was not able to prey on fish and other insects. Unable to suffer hunger, the crane stood on the edge of the lake and began crying pitiably. Moved at the sight, a crab passing by asked the crane, "Friend, what is the matter? Why are you not hunting for food today?" "Son, you have correctly guessed. I am feeling guilty, because I have swallowed too many fish. I have decided to fast unto death, and am not harming even the fish that are within my reach," said the crane. "But why are you so philosophical today?" asked the crab. "What shall I tell you? I have heard that there will be no rains for the coming 12 years. Astrologers have forecast an evil conjunction of the planets. As a result, there won't be rains on this earth for another 12 years. All these years we have all played and lived together. I am now worried about the fate waiting for these poor fish and other creatures in the lake. They will die and I will be alone and without them. Is there no way we can save ourselves?" At present, fish and other water creatures in other lakes are migrating to bigger lakes with the help of their relatives. Here, nobody seems to worry about the dark future. At this rate, there won't be any kind of fish left. The crab carried this information to all the fish and other water creatures in the lake. Alarmed, all of them came to the crane and pleaded with him to show them the way to overcome this danger. "Why not? There is a big lake not far from here that has plenty of water throughout the year and lotuses always in bloom. That lake does not go dry even if there are no rains for 24 years. I can ferry all of you one by one to that lake." The poor fish and other water creatures at once put all the trust in the crane and agreed to be ferried. Every day, the crane would take one of them at a time to a lonely place, smash them against a stone and eat them. He would return to the lake and repeat the trick every day. One day the crab asked the crane, "Uncle, you are taking everyone to the faraway lake and not me. Why don't you take me there today and save my life?" Tired with eating fish every day, the crane too was happy to carry the crab to the lake that did not exist. The crab was happy and mounted on the back of the crane. As the crane was flying close to the spot where he ate all the fish, the crab saw a heap of fish bones and asked the crane, "Uncle, we have come a long distance, and I see no lake anywhere. Tell me, where is the lake?" "You are a fool to trust me. There is no lake. Nor is there water. Say your prayers now. I am going to kill you." The crafty crab at once caught the neck of the crane in his claws and tore through it to death. Slowly, carrying the crane's neck, the crab reached the lake where all his friends, worried that the crane did not come back, asked him what made him come back. The crab said, "You fools, that crane was taking all of us to a lonely place where it would smash the victims against a rock and have them for lunch. I found out his mischief and saved myself by slicing his neck. From today, all of us can live happily without fear." Then the crows asked the jackal how they could get rid of the cobra that was feasting on their offspring. The jackal told them to go to a big city and snatch any item of jewelry from a palace and drop it in the hollow of the tree that is the cobra's home. In search of the jewelry, the king's men would reach the tree and kill the cobra. The crow couple flew off to a lake where the women in the king's harem were reveling in water. Before entering water, the women left their jewelry and clothes on the waterside. The female crow skillfully dived and snatched a gold necklace and began slowly flying towards the cobra's hideout. The king's men who saw the crow fly off with the necklace followed the female crow and saw it dropping the necklace into the hollow of the tree. They ran to the tree and pulling it out killed the cobra. That's why Damanaka told Karataka, "Elders say that he who is wise is stronger than the strong." That is how a small hare killed the almighty lion. "How is that?" asked Karataka. "That is another story," said Damanaka. 6. The cunning hare and the witless lion. Basaraka was a lion lording over the jungle, killing deer, boars, rabbits, bisons, etc. Yet he was not happy with his kill. The victims too were unhappy, and met the lion one day in a delegation. "Oh, Lord," they said, "why do you kill so many animals every day when you need only one for your food? Let us come to an understanding. From today, you need not move from your place. We will send an animal every day to you. That will spare you the trouble of hunting and us our lives. Our forebears have said that the duty of the king is to rule and not to destroy. Just as a seed sprouts, grows into a tree and yields fruit, a people protected by the king come to his rescue in times of need. What you say is true, the lion said and added a condition. If you fail to send one animal every day, I shall kill all of you. Agreed, said the animals and began roaming the forest without fear and sending one of their own folk to the lion for his lunch. One day it was the turn of a hare. He started leisurely on his last journey and saw a big well on the way, and saw his own reflection when he peeped into the well from curiosity. Suddenly an idea struck the hare. I will somehow tempt the lion to the well and persuade him to jump into it, the hare thought to himself. It was late in the evening when the hare reached the lion's den. The lion was hungry and so angry and decided to kill all the animals when the hare came and knelt before him. First, you are too small for my lunch. Second, you have come late. I shall kill you and all the others too, the lion warned the hare. My lord, it is not my fault, or the fault of other animals. Let me know who it is who delayed you and I will kill him at once. Our folks have decided that it is my turn today. Since I do not make a full meal, they have sent 3 more hares with me for your meal. As we were all coming to you, a big lion came out of his den and demanded to know where we were all going. We are all going to Basaraka, as his meal according to our arrangement, we said. The big lion said that this jungle belonged to him and that all animals obeyed its orders. He also told us that you are a cheat and asked us to bring you to him for a trial of strength. Whoever is the victor will become the king. He commanded me to summon you to his fort. That's why I am late. It is now for you to decide, the hare told the lion. In that case, Basaraka told the hare, show me that lion. I will kill him and have him for lunch. According to the elders' territory, friendship and gold are the rewards of war. Wise men do not go to war unless there are gains. Yes, my lord, said the hare, what you say is true. But the big lion lives in a fort. He knows that the king without a fort is like a cobra without fangs and an elephant without heat. Stop that nonsense and bring him here. Don't you know that you have to crush the enemy and disease at the first opportunity? Otherwise, they will grow in strength and crush you. But the big lion seems to be very strong. Haven't you heard elders saying that one should not go to war without assessing one's own strength and the strength of the enemy? He who meets the enemy in haste will perish like the locusts in a fire. Growing impatient, the lion roared, why all this tall talk? Show him to me. Asking the lion to accompany him, the hare took him to the well. He told the lion that the big lion was there in that fort and showed him the well. The lion then peeped into the well and mistaking his reflection in the water for the big lion jumped into the well to kill him. Thus the foolish lion perished, and all the animals in the jungle lived happily ever after. Damanaka resumed, this is how with my skills I will create a rift between Pingalaka and Sanjivaka. All right, best of luck to you, said Karataka. One day when Pingalaka was alone, Damanaka visited him and bowed to him. We haven't seen you for a long time, said Pingalaka. Of what use am I to you? Yet, when your rule is breaking up, I thought I should inform you. Even without asking, offer good advice to him whom you want to protect from indignity, said our elders. Whatever you want to say it without hesitation. Gathering courage, Damanaka said, my lord, Sanjivaka wants to harm you. Taking me into confidence, he once told me that he would kill you, become the king and make me a minister. But Sanjivaka is a trusted friend of mine. Why should he think of harming me? There is no loyal or disloyal servant. There is no servant who does not covet power. My lord, what made you to take Sanjivaka into confidence? Don't think he is a strong animal able to kill your enemies. This will not happen, because he is a vegetarian and my lord feasts on meat. It is better to get rid of him. You remember, I gave him the word on your advice. How can I kill him, who has won assurance from me? My lord, according to wise men, you should not make friends with people you do not know. You know how an innocent flea died for the fault of a bug. Pingalaka demanded to know the story. Damanaka began to relate. 7. The bug and the poor flea. Once upon a time a bug named Mandavisarpini made for itself a small home in the folds of the milk-white sheets of linen spread on the king's ornamental bed. One day, the bug saw a flea drifting into the king's bedroom and told the flea that he had come to a wrong place and asked him to leave before somebody noticed him. The flea whose name was Agnamuka, said, "O venerable sir, it is not proper for you to ask a guest to leave even if he is a wicked person. You must welcome him, ask him about his health, say words that comfort him and request him to take rest. That is how good hosts treat their guests. Besides, I have tasted the blood of a variety of men and animals. Never did I taste royal blood. The king's blood is a compound of rich foods and is bound to taste rich. Please permit me to relish this delicacy." The flea continued, "Everything we do in this world we do to slake our hunger. I have come to you in search of food. It is not proper for you to siphon off the king's blood all alone. You should share it with me also." The bug told him, "Oh, flea, I suck the blood of the king when he is fast asleep. You are impatient. You have to wait till I finish my job. After me, you can have your fill." The flea agreed. Meanwhile, the king entered his bedroom to sleep. But the impatient flea began feasting on the king's blood even before he went to sleep. Stung by his bite, the king rose from his bed and asked his servants to look for what was in the bed that caused him discomfort. The king's men pulled the linen off the bed and examined it closely. Before they could him, the flea sneaked into a recess of the bed. The servants found the poor bug and killed him at once. Damanaka told Pingalaka, "This is why you should kill Sanjivaka before he could kill you. He who abandons a trusted confidant and trusts an outsider will die like sage Kakudruma." "How did he die?" Pinagalika asked him. 8. The story of the blue jackal. Chandaraka was a jackal living in a forest. One day, driven by hunger, he came to a nearby town in search of food. Seeing him, a group of mongrels began chasing and attacking him whenever possible. The jackal fled in panic and entering the house of a washerman, hid in a vat full of blue used for bleaching clothes. When he came out, he became a blue animal. Thinking that he was not the jackal they chased, the mongrels dispersed. The jackal came back to the forest with his body dyed in blue. When the lions, tigers, panthers, wolves and other animals in the forest saw him, they took fright and ran in all directions. They thought to themselves, "We do not know his power and strength. It is better we keep a distance from him. Haven't the elders warned not to trust him whose conduct, caste and courage are not known?" Seeing them scared, the dyed jackal said, "Why do you run away like that? There is no need to fear. I am a special creation of God. He told me that the animals in the jungle here had no ruler, and that he was nominating me as your king. He named me as Kakudruma, and told me to rule all of you. Therefore all of you can live safely under the umbrella of my protection." All the animals in the jungle accepted him as the king. He in turn appointed the lion as his minister, the tiger as his chamberlain and the wolf as the gatekeeper. After distributing office to the animals, the new king Kakudruma banished all the jackals in the forest. The lions, tigers and the wolves killed other animals and brought them as food for the king. Taking his share, Kakudruma would distribute the rest of the kill among his subjects. One day when the blue jackal was holding court, he heard a gang of jackals howling. Thrilled by the sound of his own ilk, Kakudruma began loudly responding in his natural voice. The lions and other animals immediately recognized that their king was after all a jackal and not a godsend. They at once pounced on the blue jackal and killed him. The moral is, Damanaka said, "He who abandons his own folk will perish." "But how do I believe that Sanjivaka has evil intentions?" asked Pingalaka. "He told me today that he would kill you tomorrow. If you notice him carefully tomorrow, you will find him red-eyed and occupying a seat he does not deserve. He would stare at you angrily. If what I say comes true, it is for you what to do with Pingalaka," said Damanaka. After this meeting with the Lion King, Damanaka went to meet Pingalaka. The bullock received him with courtesy and said, "We are meeting after a long time. What can I do for you? They are the blessed who are visited by friends." "You are right, sir. But where is rest for servants? They have lost their freedom for the sake of money. They know no sleep, no interest in food, nor can they speak without fear. Yet they live. Somebody has rightly compared service to a dog's life," said Damanaka. "Come to the point, my friend." The bullock was now impatient. Damanaka said, "Sir, a minister is not supposed to give bad advice. He cannot also disclose state secrets. If he does, he will go to hell after his death. But in the cause of your friendship, I have revealed a secret. It is on my suggestion that you have taken up service in the royal household. Pingalaka has evil designs against you. When we were alone, he told me he would kill you and bring happiness to everyone in the palace. I told the king that this was stabbing a friend in the back, Damanaka continued. The king was angry and said that you were vegetarian, and he lived on a diet of meat, and so there was natural discord between you and him. He said that this was enough reason for him to kill you. This is a secret I have kept to myself for a long time. It is now for you to do what is necessary. Sanjeevaka fainted on hearing these words. Recovering after some time, he said, "It is truly said that a person who serves the king is like a bullock without horns. It is difficult to know the mind of a king who has different ideas. It is not easy to serve a king. Even sages could not read the minds of kings. I think some servants who were jealous of my friendship with the king must have poisoned his mind." "Don't worry," Damanaka said. "Forget what tales the servants carried to the king. You can still win his favor by your sweet words." "That is not true. It is impossible to live with wicked people, however small they are. They can always think of 100 ways to get you in the same manner the jackal and crow trapped the camel." "Sounds interesting. Let me know what happened to the camel," asked Damanaka. Sanjeevaka began to tell him the story.